Imagine a version of you that's stronger, wiser, ready to take on the world despite the challenges that you have endured. Today, we're exploring two powerful takeaways from my recent interview with Thandi Montgomery. Each one of these, let alone both, have the potential of completely transforming your life from this day forward. My friend, I welcome you to episode 301.
Yo, are you ready to flip the script on life? Because those bad days, they're just doors to better days. And that's exactly what we do here at Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. Your host, Kevin Lowe, he's been flipping the script on his own life, turning over 20 years of being completely blind into straight up inspiration, motivation, and encouragement just for you. So, kick back, relax, and let me introduce you to your host, Kevin Lowe.
What's up, my friend? Welcome back to Grit, Grace, and Inspiration. I am excited to have you here today. This is something new that we're starting here on the podcast, episode 301. Typically, I always do an interview on Tuesday. Thursday is a solo episode, and we repeat that same schedule each and every week. Well, I think I mentioned in our last episode, that was episode 300, that we're going to try mixing things up. Because now, instead of just one solo episode, in between each interview, you're actually going to get two solo episodes. Yes, a little bit more of me. Hopefully that makes you excited and not disappointed. But more specifically, my plan is that each solo episode following an interview, so just like today's episode, is I'm going to do my takeaways from the interview. The interviews that I do with my guests have so many insights, so many takeaways that, to be honest, it's absolutely mind-blowing. You could truly make each of my interviews a masterclass in their topic. And so I thought, you know what? Let's give it a little bit more life. Let's break it down a little bit easier. And so, like in today's episode, I'm breaking down my two biggest takeaways from my interview with Thandi Montgomery. And it all starts right now. If you had a chance to listen to my interview with Thandi, you will know that she had a really tough time with cancer. But what I thought was so profound was this idea of her becoming a new version of herself. Matter of fact, she refers to her old self as Thandi 1.0. Now, here on the other side of cancer, she's Thandi 2.0. Same person, just revealing a new piece of her, a new side of her. And I think the powerful thing about this is it's such an amazing reminder to us all that on the other side of the big events in life, we become bigger, better, stronger, more resilient people. Basically, the person we were then, it's no longer who we are today. The things that we used to laugh at, the things that we used to be interested in, the things that we used to think were funny, they just aren't anymore. We've become a bigger person. We've become a new version of ourselves. And this profound realization is exactly why Thandi realized that she had to change careers. In amongst this conversation, Thandi, she would ask herself one of the most powerful questions that any of us can ever ask ourselves. And that is, who am I at the core? When I get rid of all the titles, when I get rid of all the descriptions, who am I really? Who am I on the inside? Who am I when nobody's looking? Who am I when it's just the quiet? Who am I? And the powerful thing is that these traumatic events that we go through, and whether or not you feel like you've had a quote unquote traumatic event, I can tell you that if you're living in the same world as me, you've been through some stuff. You may look back at it now and try to downplay it, but I guarantee you it was fundamental in building the person you are today. And I don't believe that these moments turn us into somebody new, but rather they just peel back another layer. I don't know if you're a fan of the movie Shrek. That was the animated movie with the ogre and the donkey. And there was one point in the movie, if you know it, if you love it, you know what I'm talking about. If not, just play along. The ogre, he's trying to describe himself to Donkey as an onion because onions, they got layers. And this is the same for you, my friend. I believe that the stuff we go through in life, yeah, sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it damages who we are, but more so it builds who we are. Some may think that it takes away when each layer is peeled back. But in fact, the opposite is true. With each layer that's peeled away, it just gets closer and closer to who you really and truly are on the inside. And for myself, I think that's a really powerful way to think about life. Is that the stuff that we go through, it's not harming us. No, in the big picture, it's just helping us to understand who we are at the core. That's what it's all about. The other thing that really stood out to me in my conversation with Thandi was her analogy of the bow and arrow. Now, maybe that's because I'm a huge fan of an analogy. Matter of fact, if you listen to this podcast very much, you hear them all the time. Me coming up with some creative way to compare something we're going through to something else. Well, Thandi, she spoke about the bow and arrow. Thandi explained that if you think of yourself as the arrow and the bow, well, that's life. She explained that the further you're pulled back, well, the further you're going to be able to soar forward. I want you to realize that you're the arrow and you're loaded and ready to go. You're going through life. You're ready for big things to happen, but then challenges sink in. There's things that keep pulling you down, keep trying to pull you back. It's like the string of that bow is being pulled further and further back. And you can't help but feel discouraged. You can't help but worry that you're never going to get to move forward. But remember the bow and arrow. The further it's pulled back, the further, the higher, the faster it's going to fly forward. And at some point, it's going to come the point of release. And I want you to be prepared for it because I want you to realize that life, it's a series of ups and downs. There's times in our life when things are smooth sailing, and boy, are those good. There's other times when the sea gets crazy rough, scary rough. And then there's other times when we're cruising along and it's an unexpected challenge, an unexpected wave we have to deal with. I, though, want you to realize that all along the way, it's just the bow and arrow. Those struggles, those challenges, they're just setting you up for an even bigger comeback. So remember this, my friend. The further that life seems to be pulling you back, holding you down, the further you're able to fly ahead, to soar into the future that you want for your life. I don't know why, but for myself, that just really resonated. It really just gave me this visual image of, wow, you know what? It's right. Because in this life of ups and downs, sometimes we feel like we're never going to come out of the bottom, but we do. We always do with the ebb and flow of life. Just remember, the harder it is, the tougher it is. The further that string is pulled back, the further you're going to soar forward. And with this, I would love for you to think about your life today. What challenges are you facing right now that feel like the string is being pulled back further and further? What challenges maybe have you faced in the past that at the moment they felt like they were never going to end? You felt like it was about to break you. And yet, finally, at some point, it was released and the arrow, you went shooting forward. I want you to remember that so that you can have proof that what I'm talking about, it works. Not just in an imaginary sense, but no, it works in your life, just as it has in the past. And I can guarantee you that it will work again in the future. It can work again right now. Work today. And, well, I also can't help but wonder, What version are you? Are you Thandi 1.0? Or are you on your way to Thandi 2.0? Maybe you've been Thandi 2.0, but you've not realized it. You've been trying to put it aside, trying to downplay the changes that have happened in your life and who you are. Well, maybe this is your opportunity to realize, wow, you know what? I did become somebody new. And it's time for me to embrace it. It's time for you to enter 2.0. Now, if you did not listen to episode 300 with Thandi Montgomery, I'm going to encourage you to do yourself the biggest favor you can ever do yourself, and that is to go back and listen to her story. The two takeaways that I shared today, they are literally just the tip of the iceberg, because what she has to share is going to blow you away. It was without a doubt one of the best interviews I have ever had on this podcast. So go back to episode 300, check your favorite app. It's all numbered right there. And I also am going to include a link to episode 300 in today's show notes. But most of all, my friend, my hope, my prayer is that you heard something today that can be an impact on your life. That's why I do this podcast. My mission is that somebody, you, may be on the other side of the world, and you'll never reach out to me. I'll never talk to you. I'll never even know that you exist. And yet, you heard something by me or my guest, and it makes a difference in your life. That's why I do this. That is why I'm here 4 years later, over 300 episodes later, and I have no intention of stopping anytime soon. Because, well, I know that this world is tough. Life is hard. And I want to do my part to help to make a difference. So, my friend, thank you for being here. If you enjoyed today's episode, if you got something out of it, please be sure to share it with somebody else. Spread the love. That would mean the world to me. And with that, my friend, get out there and enjoy this day. I'll see you inside of next week's episode.